Lightning crackled above the treetops. Thunder rolled over the forest. The rain beat down mercilessly. It blotted out the landscape. The forest grew darker, more forbidding. The massive animal stood in the center of the track, the rain beating off its hide like nails, and swiveled its huge head from side to side. Its eyes pierced the gloom, staring straight through the driving rain to where we were hiding. Had, had it seen us? Its vicious claws were pawing the ground. Was it going to charge? If it did, we had have to break cover and go racing off into the forest. But if we did, we had become lost for sure. The rain was so heavy we would not be able to see more than a few meters in any direction, and I did not want to think about what might be waiting for us in the dense grove. I held my breath, forcing myself not to move. No matter what was crawling on my body, being bitten by insects was better than being trampled alive by some prehistoric monster. Well, kind of. As though a tap had been turned off, the rain stopped abruptly. I could hear water dripping from a million leaves. The storm had crossed to another gauge. Steam rose from the ground. My soaked clothes stuck to my skin. My hair was plastered flat over my scalp. With a low snorting sound, the great beast turned and retreated into the forest. We could hear it stomping around, grunting. Why didn't it go? Many long minutes passed. Still we could hear the beast nearby. It sounded like it was digging and eating. We waited in the wet undergrowth until finally we heard its thunderous gallops fade into the distance. Meanwhile, ants feasted on our feet. Insects nipped us, and evil-looking lizards scooted about, their tongues flickering curiously. Were they venomous? I had no idea. Suddenly I had had enough. I broke cover, slapping at my flesh, sending insects flying in all directions. Rochelle and Glenn burst from beneath the branches too, slapping and brushing at their bodies. 2 fat slugs dropped from Glenn's head. He stamped on them until they were nothing more than stretchy paste. That was a narrow escape, I breathed. Imagine if that thing had seen us. Glenn shuddered. I do not want to know. He whispered perspiration from his forehead. He wiped perspiration from his forehead. It looked like a massive rhino. I wonder what it was. Behind us, Rochelle burst into laughter. Do you really want to know? Glenn and I turned to discover her looking at her smartphone. I have just done a search for it. Well, what was it? Glenn demanded. What kind of monster? I asked. Rochelle held up her phone and giggled. A koala.